Welcome back. Welcome back. Crisis Report 4725, 2025, April 7th, 2025. Thanks so much for being here. I know this is a weird time, but we're having a weird week. So, I'm going to start to, I don't know, I might go back to the mornings, but it's tough. I'm not getting any love from Borgarino, and evenings are better. Plus, summertime coming up here pretty soon, and I'll have a lot more time. Things are winding down, so we might be able to do it at an earlier evening time, not the midnight time slot. So we're going to start this right now. If I have to go back to mornings for the foreseeable future, I will. I'm trying to keep it at a good, normal time. But the fact is, folks, is that I get much more views and people tuning in when I do it in the evening time. Okay? It is what it is. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I don't want to do anything to go against anyone. But we got to do what's going to help the channel keep going. And the channel is, well, let's just say there's no love from Borgarino. Can you imagine being consistent and putting out a video every single day? Most comprehensive news on YouTube, and you never gain or lose subscribers. You just sit 10 to 20. Literally, I think I'm on month like 6 now. Okay? That defies any kind of human whatever. I gain everywhere else. I gain on SUBSTACK. I gain on Twitter and X and Truth and all that. But for 6 months to never go anywhere. That is what we call manipulation. Okay, now here's the good news. I don't care about if this channel grows or not. I really don't. This is, I kind of see it as a service to my people that come over to PrepperNow. PrepperNow is my baby. I want PrepperNow to work. I want PrepperNow to grow. I want PrepperNow to be the brand. Crisis Report is an offshoot news service, essentially. That's basically what I see it as. And get about 1,000, 1,200 people or views per video, which is fine. I think what I'm doing is good. I think what I'm doing is kind of ahead of the game. I think what I'm doing is better than not all, but many other channels. And the reason why is because it is extremely comprehensive. You slap on the earbuds, and in 30 minutes, you will literally know everything in the world that's going on. I'll miss a thing here and there, but I have yet to find too many channels out there, and there are some that are really good. I'm not going to talk down on anyone or talk up on anyone, but I'm just saying we do it in a way that most other people can't really keep up. So I personally don't care what YouTube does when it comes to this channel. I don't. So they want to keep it range bound at 10,472 to 80 to 80 to 72 to 80 to 80 to 72. I don't care. Whatever. If that makes the leftist POSs in the back feel good about themselves because they're getting their ASSs kicked in every other way on the planet, that's fine. Fine. Enjoy it. Yay. You can turn little buttons and make it so my little website vlog thing doesn't go up or down. Congratulations. You're so novel. But again, I don't give a crap. So we're just going to keep going. That's why you don't really hear me complain or talk about it. I'll switch around and stuff, but it is what it is. I've literally been at the same number of subscribers since October, and I will not grow because they don't want it to grow. Because they want you going to Fox News, they want you going to MSDNC, they want you going to see SuckNN and all the other ones of the crappy people, these boneheads that aren't as educated and aren't as up on things, and go in there and read their news from their producers and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. So, I'm glad you're here. You are what matter. You people that are tuning in right now, you are what matters, okay? All this other crap doesn't matter. So if people think I'm arrogant because I say I've got an education and stuff, so what? Go away. I don't care. Because I can tell you the analysis and the perspective I give is generally better than other people. And the reason why is because I have studied this crap. I have a background in it. I can tell you things that, in a way, it is what it is. So, all right, there's a spiel. We're moving along. Let's go. Let's get some crisis reporting here, dog. Let's do it. Ready? Whoosh. That was the super Bush. We have Bush. What movie? All right, let's get going. By the way, if things ever happen, just in case, if you're ever wondering, where would he go? Now you know. Bum, ba, da, little rainbow, NBC. All right, here we go. China's objections to new U.S. tariffs have stalled a deal to sell TikTok, according to Trump. Pretty much had a deal for TikTok, not a deal, but pretty close. And then the China came in, they changed the deal because of tariffs. That's what China said to the reporters today. Germany's Merz has a problem. Can we spend €1 trillion? Das ist gut. We're going to spend your money, and we're going to lie to your face and say that we're conservative, but we're not. We're going to listen to Klaus, and Klaus will tell us what to do. We're going to take Germany, and we're going to ruin it. That's what he plans to do. Incoming German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has secured $1 trillion of infrastructure and defense. That's defense. They're going to go to war with Russia. Ending years of fiscal austerity, but spending it is the real challenge. Germany faces deep bureaucratic delays, labor shortages, sluggish planning processes that could push the plan's full impact to 2027. With rising threats like Russia and reduced U.S. involvement in European security, the stakes are high. Experts warn that without urgent reforms to streamline government, attract workers, modernize administration, Merz risks wasting this historic opportunity and fueling support for the far-right AfD. By the way, they're the most popular in Germany now. It's like Merz has already totally douched it. Okay, moving on. Elon Musk backs warning on drone dependence. Elon Musk co-signs Naval's bold claim that any country that can't manufacture its own drones will be a vassal state. U.S. oil prices plunged to $60 a barrel. President Trump announced broad new tariffs, raising fears of a global economic slowdown. Prices are down 15% in days, hurting U.S. oil producers, especially in states like Texas, who may cut drilling and jobs. OPEC's plan to boost supply and higher material costs from tariffs add pressure. Smaller energy firms are most at risk. Energy stocks have already taken a major hit. Trump's tariffs have roiled markets, and by the way, you're going to start to see the comeback happen. Asian markets fell after Trump imposed new tariffs on U.S. trading partners, triggering fears of global recession. Japan's Nikkei fell 8%. It's already back 6%. Hong Kong fell 10%. Taiwan fell nearly 10%. Other regional indices followed suit. Analysts warn that China could lose up to 2.5% points of GDP with wider global implications because they are the target. That's why Trump is doing this. Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ each fell more than 5%, the worst decline since the Cold War sell-off. U.S. crude fell 4% to 59.49 barrel, and the dollar weakened slightly against the yen and the euro. Goldman Sachs, U.S. recession likely if tariffs hit full force. Goldman Sachs warns that a 45% chance of a U.S. recession rising sharply if April 9th tariffs fully take effect, pushing effective rates up 20 points, even with partial rollbacks, weakening confidence, global backlash, and financial tightening may slow growth. Goldman Sachs expects up to 3 Fed rate cuts this year to soften the blow. Full tariffs could tip the U.S. into recession. Even less severe scenarios carry serious economic risks. Several powerful Iranian-backed militias in Iraq are ready to disarm to avoid a potential confrontation with the Trump administration, senior commanders and Iraqi officials told Reuters. Shift follows private U.S. warnings to Baghdad since Trump took office in January, urging action against armed groups or face possible airstrikes. Talks between Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani and militia leaders are reportedly advanced. Izzat al-Shabnar, a senior Shiite politician, said the factions are showing flexibility and understand the risk of U.S. retaliation. Commanders from Kataib's Hezbollah, Nujabah, Kataib Saeed al-Shahada, and Ansarullah al-Awfiya confirmed their willingness to comply, speaking anonymously due to the sensitivity of the issue. Now, can anybody pronounce those names better than me? Don't think so. You're so arrogant. Today is Black Monday. Asian markets crash. More to come. Global trade war fears send stocks tumbling across Asia. Here's how the major markets opened. Nikkei down 9%. Recovered 6.5% down. China down 6.7%. Hong Kong down 10%. Worst day since February. South Korea down 5%. Circuit breaker triggered. Taiwan down 10%. Trading suspended. That's the circuit breaker. Singapore down 8.5%. Australian for stocks 6% open. Settled 3.5% down. Philippines down 4%. Reuters, is there a point where the market pain is too much? Trump, that's a stupid question. I don't want losses, but sometimes you have to take the medicine to fix something, you little idiot. Backdoor found in Chinese robot dogs. Really? Maybe if you're in Australia and you're getting ready to buy one of them BYD vehicles, one of the EVs from China, maybe you should look at this story right here. Backdoor found in Chinese robot dogs. Security researchers have discovered a hidden remote access tunnel in Unitree's Go1 RoboDog, allowing full remote control and possible access to connected networks. Whoa! China stealing stuff through their technology? Who'd have thought? Used in universities, labs, and even defense, the robots all share this undocumented feature across all models, from the $2,500 Air to the $8,500 EDU. It's almost like China is parasitic and wants to steal everybody's information. Trump advisor Peter Navarro said Vietnam is essentially a colony of communist China. Vietnam, don't dump shrimp into our markets and put the good people of Louisiana out of work. I do like Louisiana shrimp better. CNBC host Jim Cramer says the U.S. could face a market crash like '87 if Trump doesn't ease his global tariff plan. If the president doesn't reward countries that play by the rules, a 1987-style collapse looks very possible. That was a 22.6% drop in a day. European markets open in freeze fall. Paris down 6.46. Frankfurt down 9.15. London down 2.99. Just say 3%. Black Monday 87. What happened? Well, October 19th, 1987. Dow Jones crashed 22.6%. Largest single day in United States history. Panic quickly spread worldwide, hitting markets in Europe, Asia, Australia. Why? Program trading, automated sell orders triggered market free fall. Economic fears, rising inflation, trade deficits, slowing growth, spooked investors, currency turmoil, confusion over U.S. dollar stabilization deals, added uncertainty. Overvaluation, markets had surged since 1982. Many saw a correction coming. And the aftermath was central banks pump liquidity to calm markets. U.S. stocks rebounded faster than expected. Ooh, let's read that one again. U.S. stocks rebounded faster than expected. U.S. stocks rebounded faster than expected. Circuit breakers were introduced to prevent future meltdowns. So, just give it time, people. Just give it time. U.S.-UK special relationship is showing cracks in its last stronghold, intelligence cooperation. Trump ordered a freeze on the sharing of U.S. intelligence with Ukraine, even within the Five Eyes alliance. While allies condemn the Ukraine decision, UK stress ties remain inextricably entwined. But the experts say that despite the intricate nature of the relationship, it may be necessary for Britain to begin planning for the previously unthinkable if Trump's America continues to depart from its oldest alliances and once shared international aims. Hong Kong Stock Exchange closes down 13.12%. That's the worst since 1997. And what happened in 1997, PrepperNow? Oh, that's correct. That's when the British handed over Hong Kong to China. End of globalization. From your words to God, from God's lips to your lips to God's, you know what I mean. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer will declare the end of globalization, saying it has failed millions as Trump's tariffs shake the global economy. Globalization sucks. It does nothing but make rich dicks richer. People are like, Klaus. That's all that cares about it. He will call for faster supply side reforms and unveil pro-growth plans this week. Starmer will reject tariffs but acknowledge why Trump's economic nationalism resonates with voters left behind free trade and immigration. A number 10 official said that globalization is over. Good, let it die. New Syrian government will take full control of the wells in the Jazira region east of the Euphrates River, Deir el-Zur Governor Ghassan Ahmed has said. Taiwan's stock market closes down 9.7%, historic record drop. Germany's Interior Ministry supports preparing school children for war or major crises. Hans Blatt. German Economy Minister Habeck says the EU is in a strong position to respond to U.S. tariffs. Response must be calm and united. Singapore Straits Time Index fell 7.7%, biggest single-day drop in more than 16 years. Number of questions have to be answered before a ceasefire in Ukraine. No one has given us answers to our questions, according to the Kremlin. Tesla shares dropped below the price the U.S. Commerce Secretary Lutnick once claimed was impossible to fall beneath. Kremlin on Iran. Russia is ready to do everything possible to resolve the problem through political and diplomatic means. Goldman Sachs raises U.S. recession probability estimates from 35% to 45%. Trump says oil prices are down, interest rates are down, slow-moving Fed should cut rates. Food prices are down, there is no inflation, and from what was. The long-time abused USA is bringing in billions of dollars a week from the abusing countries on tariffs that are already in place. Pro-Trump billionaire investor Bill Ackman said the president is losing the confidence of business leaders around the globe. Nobody cares. By placing massive and disproportionate tariffs on our friends and our enemies alike, and thereby launching a global economic war against the whole world at once, we are in the process of destroying confidence in our country in a trading partner. What he's trying to do is destroy China and their economy. I think that's at the root of a lot of this. Not all, but a lot of it. There's other things going on with inflation and interest rates and bringing manufacturing back. It's going to get rocky. It's going to happen. But like the 1987 crash, things recovered quicker than you thought. If this is what it takes to get us and to preempt any kind of a major America thundercrap of the bed in 10 years with our debt and everything else, because we're going full-on liberal economic doctrine, then so be it. Let's do it now. I got little chillins. I don't want them to inherit a POS country that's dying, which basically at this point is. Italy's foreign minister has suggested that the EU could postpone initial counter tariffs against the U.S. to April 30th from April 15th. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, EU is ready to negotiate with the U.S. on tariffs. Countries from all over the world are talking to us. Tough but fair parameters are being set. Wall Street plunges at the open. Dow Jones down 2.85%. NASDAQ down 3.91%. S&P down 3.24%. EU's von der Leyen Says the EU offered the US 0 for 0 tariffs for industrial goods. Hungarian Foreign Minister Szijjártó says Hungary opposes EU counter tariffs against the US. 2.1 trillion was wiped from the US stock market at the open. Hassett says Trump's considering a 90-day tariff pause for all countries except China. That got told by people, and it was not vetted or truthful. So I don't know who put that out there, but and I'm looking at you, some random dude. Someone made a lot of money on this. I don't know who it was. Could be inside the house, could be outside the house. Someone floated that somewhere and probably put a lot of shorts in and freaking just cleaned up. So, I don't know. Because CNBC is now reporting that no one at the White House is aware of a 90-day pause. U.S. stocks plunge again. You see? Yeah. Trump will hold a pep rally for House Republicans and big donors on Tuesday. Trump says if China does not withdraw its 34% increase above their already long-term trading abuses by tomorrow, April 8th, 2025, the United States will impose additional tariffs on China of 50% effective April 9th. Additionally, all talks with China concerning their requested meetings with us will be terminated. You've been terminated. Ukrainian-born U.S. Representative Victoria Spartz says, Ukraine is not in a position to demand the return of all occupied territories. If they were winning the war, that would be very different. To win wars, you need to have leaders who know how to win, not to lose and become oligarchs themselves. Obviously taking a pot shot at Zelensky. Tariff fallout triggers $7.4 trillion drop in the S&P 500 capitalization. France, Egypt, Jordan say Gaza must be governed only by the Palestinian Authority. France has signed a strategic partnership with Denmark that reaffirms its commitment to Denmark's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Israel is prepared for possible Iran strike. Israel believes it can hit Iran's nuclear sites, missile systems, Air Force assets. This is for Yediot Aeronot. According to Yediot Aeronot, Israel may need U.S. approval, refueling support, and important munitions. Trust me, we will be involved, unfortunately. Tel Aviv also wants Washington to push for a tougher nuclear deal for the attack. Swedish teens recruited by gangs exploited by Iran. Swedish kids as young as 14 are being used in violent attacks targeting Israeli interests, recruited by local gangs, allegedly acting at Iran's direction. According to Swedish intel, gangs like Foxtrot and Rumba are exploiting minors using social media to coach them into shootings and attempted bombings, often with no idea who's pulling the strings. This mirrors similar plots across Europe as Iran reportedly expands its proxy tactics westward. Sweden now faces a dual crisis, rising youth violence and foreign actors weaponizing its gang problem. Netanyahu-Trump press conference scheduled for days was canceled. They did have one. It was questions from the press. Probability of a U.S. recession has risen significantly thanks to President Donald Trump's tariffs, and that will have a major negative effect on the Canadian economy. Maybe that's the point. EU proposes 25% tariffs on U.S. goods in retaliation. European Commission has proposed 25% tariffs on a range of U.S. goods in response to Trump's steel and aluminum tariffs. Tariffs will take effect in two phases, May 16th and December 1st. Target products including diamonds, dental floss, sausages, nuts, and soybeans. Not the sausages. Please, God. Not the sausages. Items from bourbon, wine, and dairy initially targeted have been removed from the list because they want to get drunk. Proposed 50% bourbon tariff had led Trump to threaten a 200% counter tariff on EU alcohol. Everybody's talking about like German beer and everything, and maybe it's because I used to work for like craft breweries and stuff. There is no shortage of beer in America. There's no shortage of good beer in America, okay? And this is coming from a recovering alcoholic. There's every form of beer out there made in America, and it is top quality stuff. From Dunkelweisses to Hefeweisses to porters to you name it. I mean, Kolsch's, we make it all here now. So they can take their liquor and they can stuff it. Apple plans to source more iPhones from India to offset the high cost of China and the tariffs. From what I understand, I'm going to put this at the end, they have literally brought 5 boats just filled with iPhones over to ride out the storm. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, most CEOs I talk to would say we are probably in a recession right now. I heard about a video on another channel that's super secret that addresses that one from earlier today. Netanyahu, White House, we will eliminate trade barriers to the U.S. Trump, we're having direct talks with Iran. They have started. They'll continue on Saturday. China, we will not bow to Trump's new tariff threats. Chief Justice John Roberts pauses order for Trump administration to return man mistakenly deported to El Salvador prison. We got some updates on that one. President Trump has issued a 48-hour ultimatum to China to remove its retaliatory tariffs on the U.S., warning that failure to comply will result in an additional 50% tariff on Chinese goods. BlackRock CEO says further 20% drop in the stock market remains a real possibility. Oh my God. PBR is fantastic. It was a winner of, I believe, the 1897 or 1899 International Fair, the beer of choice, PBR. I remember when I was a blind, stinking drunk. $6. $6, baby. And you'd be drinking all night long on Peebers. BlackRock CEO, that or Olympia. Olympia is what you got if you want to go to Canada. It's the water. Let's see. BlackRock CEO says further 20% drop. Massive fire-ups in Sictom waste collection site, Paris. Fed announces closed board meeting for today. I guess they're trying to figure it all out. German district court sentences journalist to 7 months in prison on probation for posting a satirical meme that shows the leftist interior minister, Nancy Faeser, holding a fake sign that says, "I hate freedom of speech." Last year, the same court ordered a house search of a pensioner because of the satirical meme, Schwarzkopf Professional, about Robert Habeck, member of the Green Party. I guess Schwarzkopf is a bad word. U.S. can't lose $1.9 trillion on trade and also spend a lot of money on NATO in order to protect European nations. We cover them with military, then we lose money on trade. The whole thing's freaking crazy. Disaster at the stock market. Hong Kong down 10.7, Taiwan 9.6, Singapore 7.8, China 6.5, Japan 6.1, Malaysia 4.3, Australia 4.2, Philippines 4%, India 3.8, New Zealand 3.6. China's stock market has suffered the worst single-day crash since 2008. Maybe that's the point. Chinese stocks have now decreased more than 12%, largest crash since the Great Financial Crisis, the GFC, Global Financial Crisis. Trump says he won't make a deal until he gets trade surplus with each country. We have to solve a credit deficit. Unless we solve the problems, I'm not going to make a deal. Europe crapped the bed as well in their stock markets. Italy down 8.4%. Sweden 7%. Switzerland 7%. Germany, Occidental 6.8%. España 6.4%. Netherlands 6.2%. Easy France. Pays 6.1%. United Kingdom 5.2%. Russia 3.8%. I hate it when he does the voices. I don't care. Hong Kong stock market closes down 13.2%, biggest one-day drop since 97. Another $2 trillion has been erased from the stock market. Trump canceled a press conference with Netanyahu. Netanyahu's going to ask Trump today to push U.S. into war with Iran. Ooh, what's that? What's that? Axios reports that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu believes that the chances of a nuclear deal between the U.S. and Iran are extremely low. So he will present U.S. President Trump with what a good deal should look like during today's meeting in the Oval Office. He will also inform Trump that Israel seeks the Libya model, which includes a total denuclearization of Iran. Hey, what's going on in Ukraine and Russia? We haven't heard a lot about that. Here's an update. Russian counterattacks continue in the Kursk region. Russians continue to focus on Guyevo. Geolocated images show that the Russians are advancing to the west and east of the town. Belgorod Oblast, Russian counterattacks remain intense. Visual confirmations indicate that the Ukrainian forces failed to fully secure the villages. Russian sources even claim the capture of Demidovka. In the Borova direction, Russian forces successfully seized the village of Katarniivka. In southern Donetsk Oblast, Russians are pushing forward, breaking through towards Shevchenko. And that is what's going on in Ukraine. Donald Trump says that he is that he is not happy with Vladimir Putin following the missile strikes against Ukraine. He said they're bombing him like crazy. It's a horrible thing. While meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, U.S. President Donald Trump said that simply eliminating tariffs isn't enough. Reporter said the EU has said they offered 0 for 0 tariffs on cars and industrial goods. Is that not enough? Trump, no, it's not. Many suggested that Trump's reciprocal tariffs are aimed to eliminate not only tariffs, but also trade deficits that countries have on the U.S. He's going for the whole enchilada. U.S. Supreme Court just overruled the federal judge's block on President Donald Trump's Alien Enemies Act used against Venezuelan migrants. I guess the courts allowing people to come in and remove people's testicles in their own apartments as they take over the entire apartment center itself. I just made that story up. No one's had their balls removed as far as I know. But these kind of people, it's not really a good look for the judiciary when they're trying to stymie anything that Trump does. So they're losing people. Nobody says, oh yeah, please bring back the MS-13 guy. No one. So we'll see where it all goes, but it's not a good look for the judiciary. Japan's Nikkei 225 surged by 6%. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he has planned to tell CDC to stop recommending fluoride in drinking water. Canada Prime Minister says very hard to avoid recession if the United States hit. Nippon Steel shares soar 11% on Trump's review of U.S. steel takeover. Tariffs are just cover for the Trump-Netanyahu meeting. The two will discuss Iran, Lebanon, Gaza, Syria. Iran must not fool America into starting endless talks. Lebanon must disarm Hezbollah immediately. Gaza must give up or be destroyed. Syria must not allow Turkey any position that will endanger Israel's freedom to operate in order to remove threats. Report in Yemen about U.S. military attacks on the Mareb district in Yemen. And basically, Trump put Iran on notice. He said, talk to me directly and do it fast, otherwise we will resort to attacking your nuclear sites. For the Iranians to conduct direct talks with the big Satan would be a significant blow to the regime's hardliners who still hold Trump responsible for the death of their hero, General Qasem Soleimani, in January 2020. Iranian Foreign Ministry denies that its country has agreed to direct talks with the United States. Here we go with the back and forth. Three Iranian sources tell the New York Times Iran and the U.S. plan to meet in Oman on Saturday for indirect talks. According to the report, Iran has conveyed to Washington the message that if the round of talks on Saturday goes well, it would open and be ready for hold direct talks. Ukraine is dispatching a delegation to Washington to negotiate a new agreement with U.S., seeking mutually agreeable terms for both countries. And, what's that? Goldman's head of risk saying it's time to start scaling in. I'm turning bullish. Bush. So, here you are. I can tell you already, the Japanese Nikkei, that's up 6% already. I think you're going to start to see a turnaround. Doesn't mean the rockiness is over. Doesn't mean everything's going to go well. Doesn't mean that there's not people that are doing crappy things like the person that leaked whatever it was today saying that there is going to be, a relief on tariffs, which obviously didn't happen. Who knows? People are going to make money. Things are going on. But I think the administration knows they got to do the rocky crap right now because people have short memories. And they get all this BS over with. Is anybody talking about USAID anymore? No, that thing's gone. The slush fund for the crapocrats and the rhinos is over. It's done. So, here you are. Here you are. So we'll have to see. I have a feeling there's enough people that are going to be doing what they got to do to make their money. You can only lose so much. People are going to start to buy in again. You're going to start to see, I think, and I don't know, but I think you're going to start to see deals happen, announcements made, and people make money from the stock market again. 10% of the people own 88% of the stocks, but 62% of all people are in some way, shape, or form affected by the stock market. So he can't go along with this for too long. So I do think that you're going to start to see some bullish moves. I think you're going to start to see some stuff turn around. It's going to have falls. They're going to go up. They're going to go down. But I have a feeling things are going to start to turn around. So, like Rocky said, buy American, baby. Buy American. Let's get some American stuff made again. Let's do it. Another Day in Paradise, correct, by Sway. By the way, you can become a member here for a couple bucks a month. It's not much. Keeps the lights on. Keeps you doing the intel. Putting it in this 30 to 40-minute form so you can go garden and listen to everything going on and none be the wiser. Be just done with all your news for the day and go out and live your life. Isn't that awesome? Go work out. It's a perfect workout time. Doctor says you need 30 minutes on the elliptical. Go get 30 minutes on the elliptical and listen to the crisis report right here. You want all this in, go get a link or whatever? That's right. You can do that too. PrepperNow.substack.com. Oh, look at that. Boom. I can take that. I can copy paste. Some of the links are hyperlinked. You go. PrepperNow.substack.com. Join us. The almost 500 people that get this into their mailbox, email every day. Okay? Now you have another assignment. I need you to tap out here as I'm about to go away. Check the links in the description. But I also need you to go over to Magic Prepper, who is live streaming right now. I don't like to go against him. I mod for him. He's an awesome dude. Please go check out, if you're in the mood for some more Prepper talk, go check out Magic Prepper's live stream going on right now. I bet he is talking about some really important stuff. He's a smart guy. You should listen to him. He does great work on weapons. All right, friends, that's your Crisis Report. Prepper Now will be coming out here in about a half hour or so, hour, to get her done and then go to bed. God bless you all. We'll see you on the next one. Crisis Report out.